This week on Houston Newsmakers, the start of a new administration. For many, it means joy and new optimism about a change in the country's direction, but it also means reluctance by those who did not vote for President Biden and want to push back against his priorities. I talked with Congressman Kevin Brady about the path forward for this entire country. How does a country heal and move forward with deep divisiveness permeating our society? The American Leadership Forum teaches leadership skills through collaboration. I'll speak with key people in that organization to get advice on this week's Houston Newsmakers.
From KPRC2, this is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
The 46th President of the United States, Joseph Biden, was sworn in last week, the start of a new administration and a new tone of leadership in the White House. But how long will it last, and how effective will this new president be in bringing a divided country together? Well, Republican Congressman Kevin Brady was at the inauguration. You can see he sent this tweet of his vantage point at the most important image of our democracy at work and in transition. Good to see him back and in action there. It's also good to see him with us this morning. Good to see you, Congressman. I know that you've been dealing with COVID, and so being able to see your smiling face is really a joy for me this morning. How are you feeling?
I'm good, Cambrell. Thanks, friend, for having me on here. I appreciate it, too. Yeah, COVID, as you know, affects everyone differently, and, is a little rougher than I thought. But in good shape now. I was fortunate. I had taken the first shot of the vaccine, finished with the second. Encourage others to do the same. As you know, masks protect others. These vaccines protect yourself. I think that's really important.
We'll start from there, too. The good news about what was going on in the Trump administration was the success of Operation Warp Speed. That was an amazing accomplishment to get that drive going, to get vaccine to a point where it could get the emergency authorization. Clearly a big achievement and hope for many. But since that rollout, there's been some challenges with it. And now the Biden administration is responsible for correcting that. What's your focus now to help get the vaccine out and to make the changes that we need going forward?
Yeah, getting these vaccines to real Americans in the world was a miracle, no question. And I do believe President Trump in the government, in partnership with our businesses, deserve this credit. But we need to move faster. Texas was the first state to reach 1 million vaccinations. We are ahead of other major states in getting it out. But it's not, I think everyone agreed, we need to move faster. I think the good news here, tripling the number of hubs in Texas, very important. We will see the largest vaccine dosage for the state this week. I worry that we're not hitting the priorities, which includes those who are elderly, those in assisted living, those with underlying medical conditions. I also worry that there won't be the vaccines for our rural communities as well. But I think the COVID package the president signed, bipartisan, had almost $30 billion more for both buying vaccines and getting them out. I think that's got to be our number one priority right now. That's a bipartisan priority.
So right now, President Biden, in addition to that, is asking for a $1.9 trillion package. It's a COVID relief, among a lot of other things. You've seen some of his executive orders have kind of encompassed some of that. That's a big ask. What areas do you see from what he's talking about and asking for that you can say, okay, you know what, we need that, we can talk about that, but some of the other stuff we can't go along with?
Yeah, I think that I don't think it hits the mark. I think our focus has to be defeating COVID, obviously. We've got to help Main Street survive. We've got to keep people at their work, and we need to get those who are temporarily unemployed, make sure they're not permanently unemployed. I don't see much in this package on that focus. That's why I believe rather than just sending a lot of money to the governments, that's what the failed stimulus in 2008 did. Governments tend to have sticky fingers. It really doesn't get to the economy. Where I really want to focus, and I'm looking for common ground here. Yeah. How do we save Main Street? How do we get the jobless back to work? How do we really boost this economy?
Is there a room for a little horse trading within the package that the president's talking about? You can trade some here, there, kind of talk about what some of the things you talked about and maybe trade some things out that can make it work?
I hope so. Look, I'm just going to disagree on things like raising the minimum wage could cost us 4 million jobs. Certainly for our restaurants, small businesses, they're struggling. I am going to look for ways that we can really reconnect the jobless to work, make sure we keep workers on the job. So, look, we're going to stay at the table and work to find common ground here.
Good deal. Hey, it was just a bit more than 2 weeks ago at the Capitol. We watched thousands of Trump supporters march to the Capitol, damaged it in an effort to disrupt a joint session of Congress. The certification of the Electoral College vote was underway there. Lots to unpack about what led up to that and the events that took place after. Your thoughts on what happened that day and your response you think the government should have to that?
Yeah, it was a horrible day. It was an attack on democracy. I will tell you, I don't believe the president incited this. I was, as you know, pretty sick that day, not at the Capitol because of COVID. And, you know, I reviewed that speech, those transcripts. I talked to constituents who went up there who believed they protested peacefully. They stayed on the mall. They came back home to Texas. Their view was there were some bad actors who came to Washington to create this anarchy, period. In my view is we need answers on all of this. We need to hold all of them accountable. But Canberra, I'll have to tell you, my disappointment, both in the president and other leaders, is that for the last number of years, this rhetoric has been far too extreme on both sides of the aisle. We saw, you know, I was at the baseball field the morning that Steve Scalise and Republicans were targeted, fueled by someone listening to the extreme rhetoric. We saw that in the looting and violence this summer. We saw it at the Capitol. So I think there is a new responsibility on everyone in elected office to tone this rhetoric down, to cool this anger, to really focus people on helping improve the country, not tear it down. So I think, look, this should be another wake-up call for everyone in public office to step up here and to lead in the right way.
As you know, part of the conversation that was going on when that riot took place at the Capitol was the certification of votes, the Electoral College votes. Much of that took place because people were under the impression that there was widespread fraud and that Biden was elected by a fraud and a conspiracy, which has been proven really not to be true. Senator Cornyn said that, you know, when you get 60 chances in front of a court and they say no go, that there's no reason to do this. That's part of this, quote, big lie that's been propagated for a long time, too, is it not?
You know, I think in a bigger sense, the chickens have come home to roost. We saw 4 years ago a lot of members of Congress who said this was not a legitimate president. We had leaders like Hillary Clinton and President Carter and even Joe Biden on the campaign trail say that that election was rigged and illegitimate. We are seeing more of that. Cambrell, let me just tell you, I think the greatest threat to democracy wasn't that attack on the Capitol, as horrendous as it was. It is that over the last 2 decades, Americans have lost faith in their elections, both parties. Before the election, 60% of Americans said they didn't trust the election results, both parties. That is a real threat, and I think both parties need to not be in denial about this. We're going to have to work together, model legislation, make sure at the state and local level there's transparency, there's confidence, just like we did after the Florida elections. Remember that in 2000, that state pulled back the curtain and said, we got to rebuild confidence at the state and local level. I'm confident both parties ought to be focusing on let's restore that trust, but we've got some work to do.
All right, we're going to get back to that. I think doing Newsmakers Extra. I think we'll have a little time to do that, but we'll continue that conversation. I've got more with Congressman Brady. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll talk about impeachment. We need some thoughts about that as well, and the best way forward for both parties in our country. Right after this.